Hello, everyone. It's a wonderful Wednesday here in Boston, and I have another client success story, another client testimonial slash case study to share to inspire you. And like I said the other day, if your career aspirations, your career goals include going to the C-suite, whether it's CEO or CTO or CIO or something similar to that, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to this one. But even if it doesn't, because a lot of people that we talk with are like, no, I don't necessarily want to make it to the C-suite. Like, that's not my goal. But I love to be a leader of a tech team, a lead of leads who has strategic influence, who has a seat at the table, who is really building relationships and really making a huge impact, whether that's as VP or director or even as a manager or senior manager. Whatever your career goals are, it's hard not to be inspired by Tom's story. So Tom was a client who worked with us several years ago. And so when I first met him, he was in one of his first leadership positions, leading a data analytics team. He was pretty good at managing. It's actually just an extremely like a go-getter, extremely committed. And you can tell that like as soon as you meet him, like he wants to do well. And is one of those people that will just stop at nothing. Like, I will do whatever it takes in order to do the best that I possibly can. Extremely conscientious. But what happened was that Tom was doing good, but he was actually getting a little bit too comfortable. And what happened was that he wasn't really getting recognized for all of the hard work that he was putting in. And so what happened with Tom, and you can sort of check in to see that maybe this has happened with you as well, that because he wasn't getting recognized, like he was putting in all of this hard work, right? Really hard worker. But he wasn't hearing it from senior leaders. He wasn't hearing it from his boss, like, hey, Tom, you're doing a great job, and definitely wasn't seeing any rewards for it. And so he started to assume that like, oh, I guess I'm just never going to get recognized. I guess this is it, right? I guess that this is kind of the way that it works. You know, I put in the hard work and I don't get recognized. And so then he started thinking like, well, why am I even putting in the hard work then? Like, it started to go there. Like, if I'm not going to get recognized for this, why work my butt off? Right? And so his own performance, it started to go down a little bit, or at least his commitment and his motivation started to go down because he wasn't getting recognized. Like, why do this? But because he is an extremely conscientious person, an extremely committed person, he didn't let it get to the place where it might go for a lot of people, which is, whatever, I'm just going to punch in, punch out. This is all it's ever going to amount to. He said, no, I don't want it. I don't want that to happen. And it was like, well, what is all this for? Like, it started to take a step back and say, where do I want to go in my career? Like, whatever happened to those dreams that I had right after I got out of college? You know, those dreams that I want, those career dreams that I want to achieve. Where am I going? And so he reached out for help because he knew that if he kept on that same path by himself, who knows what would have happened. And he also knew that there were pieces missing, right? So a piece of it was, well, okay, I'm not getting recognized, so what's up with that? Like, am I doing something wrong here? And then another piece of it was he was really working too hard and it wasn't sustainable. You know, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and not really, he was able to score wins. Like I said, he was doing a good job, but going meeting after meeting after meeting, like that wasn't going to be sustainable either. In starting to feel burnt out. So that's why he reached out, and that's why we worked together, and why I said, yeah, I'm absolutely confident I can help you, because he has that drive, he has that self-knowledge and that commitment to want to get there, and knew that, like, look, I've been screwing up a little bit in my career. Like, what am I missing? And so we worked together on a number of things, both big picture and little picture. And this is what we do with all of our clients. So it's really custom tailored. The support that we give is custom tailored to our clients' goals and our clients' roadblocks. And with Tom, one of his bigger roadblocks that he actually didn't realize when he reached out for help, but began to realize, and we began to realize together as we started working together, was his mindset around leadership and showing up at work and even career planning, that his mindset around that needed some shifting. Because, as I was saying, he started to believe, and this actually didn't become apparent to him until we started working together for a couple of weeks, that his mindset was like, why even bother? Like, he wanted to do better, he wanted to achieve, there was that part of him, but then there was another part that was like, why even bother if I'm not getting recognized? So really shifting his mindset around that in order to get recognized, that's something that you need to do intentionally. You need to evangelize your excellence. Building excellence is not enough. If you want to get recognized for what it is that you're doing, there's another piece to that puzzle, which includes promoting yourself, evangelizing your excellence, evangelizing the excellence of your team. And that was a huge shift for Tom. It was like, wow, I thought I would just I thought if I worked hard, I would just get recognized for it and get a raise and get a promotion. Oh, okay. Well, tell me how to do that, please. So we worked on that piece of it. And it was also taking a look at, okay, how have you been approaching your career up until this point? He was like, well, I have goals, I have dreams. Like, I want to get into senior leadership someday, maybe. But I'm not really sure. And so he realized that he wasn't approaching his career intentionally as he wanted to be. And so we crafted a step-by-step, big picture plan for his career, so that he had a roadmap for this is where I am now. And actually what we do is we start far out, 3 years, 5 years, even 10, if you're able to stretch that far, if that makes sense. We start at the end, with the end in mind, and we say, where do you want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? What does that look like? What are you doing? What kind of position is it? What kind of company are you working for? And then we look at where you are now, and then we work backwards. Okay, what are the steps? If being CEO is the goal, which actually, I know you know that that's how the story ends. That's actually not where Tom started. It was really just, it was senior leadership, more of an impact, right? Okay, so if that's the goal, what's going to happen before that? And then what's going to happen before that? And then what's going to happen before that? And so we crafted that. And we also took a look, we really got into the nitty gritty in terms of the day-to-day, right? So what's going on? What's the number one thing that's keeping you from really moving forward right now on a day-to-day basis? And for him, it was meetings. It was, gosh, I feel like I'm just trapped in meetings all day, and I cannot, wow, I have this plan now, right? To like get to a senior leadership position, and I'm absolutely committed to this, and I don't want to do this, and I'm not going to be able to do this if I'm trapped in meetings all day. I'm not going to be able to evangelize my excellence and my team's excellence if I'm trapped in meetings all day and not making the most of them. So we got rid of some of the useless meetings. He started saying no to meetings more often, and really came up with a strategy with the system so that he can show up better to those meetings. And so what happened was that it was always the plan for Tom to move to another company, and that's what he did. He worked at the company that he was working for when we started working together for a little bit longer, but then he did, as his goals got bigger and as he stretched himself even more, he moved to a new company. And it was one of those situations where there was definitely a bit of luck involved in here, right place, right time kind of a thing. It was a smaller company, but there was really that he moved into, and he was in a kind of a senior leadership position because he moved into that company with all of these new systems, with this awesome kick-ass mindset. He was on fire. He moved in there, like, and this was after working together. And so he moved in there with that. And he was in a senior leadership position in that company. But it was very much a right place, right time kind of a situation, because there was definitely a gap in senior leadership in terms of what was going on. And there was some moving around in senior leadership. And what had happened was he basically just moved up in the ranks and eventually became CEO because senior leadership was stepping out and it was time for new blood to come in, aka Tom. So he rose to the level of CEO. And like I said, that actually wasn't his plan. He wanted to have more of an impact. And it was right place, right time, but he wouldn't have been able to do that without the strategies and systems that we put together, without the mindset that we worked together on so that he can condition it. So there's a little bit of a, opportunity was knocking, and he was able to answer it with gusto and with commitment and with a, I got this, that he wouldn't had we not worked together. And so that was like a really cool thing. And there's really a lesson to be learned here about the opportunity cost of not fixing your career right now. The opportunity cost of not getting the help to really take a look at your career in a more strategic way. The opportunity cost of not fixing what's not working in your career. Because if you ask yourself the question, what's not working in my career right now? That's usually just scratching the surface, right? A lot of people are able to answer that question, right? What's not working in my career right now? For Tom, when we had begun working together, it was sort of like, I'm going to too many meetings. I feel like I'm not strategic enough and I'm not getting recognized. Okay. But then as we kind of dove in, we realized that there was a lot more going on beneath the surface that needed fixing. And if he didn't fix that, if he didn't upgrade his mindset, if he didn't upgrade his leadership systems and the way that he approached his career, he would not have been able to take that opportunity to land a C-suite position. And you can't always know that. There is absolutely, though, like 10 times out of 10, every single time that we talk to someone, there is absolutely an opportunity cost for not fixing what's broken in your career right now, because there are so many unknown unknowns. You may come and you may say, well, it's okay. It's not that bad, but I have to work 50 or 60-hour weeks. Well, okay, it's not that bad, but my relationship with my boss is kind of rocky, but that's it. I guarantee you it's more than that. And that if you don't figure out what that more than that is, you are going to be losing opportunities down the line. Because there's a lot else that needs upgrading in your career. If you can identify 1 or 2 or 3 things that are not working and you're feeling stuck right now in your career, there's other stuff. And you can't see that yourself. Tom was not able to see that himself. It took us. It took an expert to take a look at it and say, there's a lot more going on here, and it includes your mindset around this. It really needs some upgrading. And so that's Tom's story. And it's just amazing. It's inspiring. It's not ever surprising to me, though, because I get to know our clients, really get to know them to their bones, who they are, who their personalities, what their personalities are, who their families are, and I know what they're capable of before that they even get there. Did I see Tom as becoming CEO? No, actually I didn't, because I didn't how would I have known that he would have moved into a company where there was a leadership gap and then senior leadership was moving out and then, and then he took that spot. But you know what? Like that specifically isn't what I saw for Tom, but I saw him moving into senior leadership and absolutely having, you know, a strategic influence and playing at that higher level. I saw it for him before he did. So it's never surprising to me to see that, but it's still like, it's awesome, you know, like, because we don't work with people that we're not 100% confident we can help. Like if I don't have this feeling and I don't have the evidence that, yeah, I can absolutely help you, then we don't make an offer. And we say, look, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste either of our times. And I think that there's going to be somebody else or other resources that are going to be a better fit for you right now. But every single client that we've made an offer to, including Tom, including Elise, including Stephen, including Lucy, and all of the other clients that we've talked about over the last, you know, couple of weeks, we saw a vision for them that they didn't quite see yet. And that's what's able to move them forward. So that's what it's about. It's really about taking a look at what's not working in your career and talking to an expert to really unveil your blind spots. Because they're called blind spots for a reason. You're not going to see them unless somebody else points them out to you. And a better scenario is that you work with an expert and not just simply a friend, a well-meaning friend, or a colleague, or, you know, a spouse or a family member who will try to help you the best that she or he can, but has that person helped thousands of other technical managers upgrade their careers? Are they able to say, here's that blind spot because I've seen it hundreds of other times? No, they're going to do the best that they can, but very often, sadly, the best that they can is not enough. And it's only going to lead to more frustration and more lack of recognition and more failure to upgrade. So in a nutshell, if you want to be like Tom, book a call with us. If you want to follow in his footsteps, that's the one difference between you and him right now. Like if you kind of rewind back to the place where Tom was struggling, you know, this was before he was CEO, before he came in on fire with all these systems and an upgraded mindset. Before that, he was struggling. He wasn't getting recognized. He was to the point of, I guess this is it. I guess I don't know. But he had that inkling. He had that, I don't want to settle. There's got to be a better way to look at my career and to upgrade my leadership stack. And if that's where you are right now, the one difference between where you're sitting right now and where Tom was sitting right then was he reached out for help. And the way that you reach out for help to follow in his footsteps is to book a call with our team. thepeoplestack.com/book. So when you go to that link, you're going to see our calendar. You pick a time that works best for you, and then we'll talk with you. We'll talk with you for about an hour about what's not working in your career and where you want to go. So if you want to prepare for that call, then really those are the two questions that you can prepare for. What's not working in your career right now? And where do you want to go in your career? Where do you see yourself? Like where you're excited, not where you're just settling, not like if you choose to settle, not that path. Where do you see yourself? You're excited, you're full of joy, you're doing cartwheels out of bed, if it were possible, or at least you can visualize that in your mind. You're so happy, you're getting recognized, you're having so much of an impact. You're a strategic leader and you're winning and your team is winning. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? So those are the two questions that you can prepare for. But really, It's you book a call with us and we got you. Like I said, we've helped thousands of people. So whatever the extent of what it is that you're facing in your career right now. And a lot of people, like we got you. Like there's not, it's very rare, right? It's at this point, it's like 1 in 100 that will get something that isn't like what we've encountered before. But even that, it's close enough to what we've encountered before that we got you, you know? And a lot of times, what's not working in your career right now, well, gosh, I don't know. That's why I need help. I can't articulate it. So in that case, you just describe what's going on, right? Like what's going on? What are the symptoms? You know, like sometimes you go to the doctor, right? Like you have no idea, and that's why you're going to the doctor, because you have no idea what's wrong. And you describe the symptoms. We're the doctor. We take the symptoms and we take a look at what those are, and we say, okay, this is what's working. This is what's going on, and we diagnose and we give you a prescription. It's the same thing, right? So you go to the doctor, you say, oh, my arm hurts, and then your doctor asks you questions. Okay, how often does it hurt? Does it hurt more in the morning or in the evening? How long has this been going on? Those are the kind of questions. You come to us with symptoms. Yeah, I can't talk to my boss. Okay, all right. And then we'll go deeper. You know, when's the last time you talked to your boss about upgrading your career? What happens when you try to talk to your boss about upgrading your career? And you tell us, gosh, yeah, I try to tell him, but he just gives me the cold shoulder, or he's very strict. My boss just doesn't seem to understand, you know, my side of things, and he's just very hard to listen to, and or very hard to talk to, and doesn't listen, and I can't have, you know, more of a 5-minute conversation with him until he starts talking about things like the bottom line, and I have no idea I can't speak his language, and it's just there's no way that I'm going to ever get any further or figure this out because I can't have conversations with my boss. I'm almost scared to do that now. Help, right? And so then we'll get deeper there and we'll figure it out. So that's the next step, folks. If you're feeling stuck in your career, you're feeling like you're hitting whether it's a glass ceiling or whatever it is that you feel like you're hitting, because you want to get to that next level. You don't want to keep going unrecognized. You don't want to keep going to useless meeting after useless meeting. Or you're just feeling completely lost because you don't know what's next in your career and you don't want to just have your career happen to you. You want to take control over your career, then book a call with our team. thepeoplestack.com/book. We're going to help you get crystal clear on what the next steps are for you so that you can be the player, be the driver in your career and not a pawn. And like I said, we do not make an offer unless we're 100% confident that we can help you. If we're not 100% confident, then we're going to steer you toward resources that are going to help you. So no matter what, you're going to get extreme clarity out of this call. You're going to get some really precise next actions that are going to help you get to that next place in your career. But if we are 100% confident we can help you, we're going to tell you, we're going to map out that plan, and we're going to explain all of the details, including the investment, including how long, including everything that you need in order to make a decision about moving forward. So that's our process. We're completely transparent about it. But the first step is if you want to get unstuck and you're sick and tired of going unrecognized at work, book a call with our team today. thepeoplestack.com/book. That's how you follow in Tom's footsteps, because that's what he did. That's the one difference between you and him right now. So that is it for the day, folks. I'm not sure what I have planned for Friday, but I'm sure it's something valuable. It will be something related to upgrading your career, leadership, leadership upgrading, something like that. So I do these Wednesdays and Fridays. So I will see you all on the next show on Friday. Take care, everyone.